Hey guys, what's up? Flex 10 here to talk about Call of Duty, more specifically, what actually counts as the Black Ops trilogy. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Before we get into it, please be sure to like and share this video, as well as comment down below your thoughts before or after the video. And if you are having this conversation with friends, invite them to watch the video and continue the conversation back and forth down in the comments with other people who want to debate what they themselves think truly counts as the Black Ops trilogy. We're going to be breaking down various ways to look at the Black Ops franchise and story and look at the different logic behind various opinions and viewpoints, and then I'll tell you what I personally think, and you can tell me in the comments why you may think I'm right or wrong. I will also go over one viewpoint that nobody's really talking about that actually might be the most accurate way to look at what really counts as the trilogy. Now, for those of you that aren't as familiar with the games or never played the campaigns and only played the multiplayer, the Black Ops storyline starts in World at War, and pretty much comes to a head in Black Ops 2, with Black Ops 3 essentially manifesting as this disconnected story that has no overarching connection with any of the previous 3 installments of the storyline. But the reason I'm making this video is this Twitter post asking what people consider to be the Black Ops trilogy. The majority of people playing Call of Duty now never played World at War, and that was reflected in the polls, with the majority of people stating Black Ops 1 to Black Ops 3 was the trilogy to them, seemingly basing their conclusion solely on the numerical title of the games and not basing their opinion on the storyline itself. It was also pretty apparent that many of the people saying this had only played the multiplayer and did not in fact play most, if not all, in some cases, of the campaigns, and some never even played Black Ops 1, let alone World at War at all. But I would like to ask you, what do you consider a trilogy in games or in movies for that matter? Be sure to interact with my poll under the community tab. Now, if you need a recap on how tied in the World at War storyline is to the Black Ops 1 storyline, we're going to do a sped up version as to not waste time for the other viewers. In World at War, you play as Dmitri, who is led by Reznov in the missions where you fight alongside the Red Soviet Army. You get to know Reznov as per his character and his backstory, and in Black Ops 1, you see Reznov's story continue after World War II, at which point you play as Reznov fighting alongside Dmitri, your playable character from World at War. Dmitri then gets killed by Nova 6, the crux MacGuffin of the Black Ops storyline. Reznov is betrayed by Dragovich and is literally the character who intervenes in the brainwashing of Mason, catapulting the beginning of the Black Ops 1 storyline. So without Reznov, there would literally be none of the Black Ops 1 storyline as you know it to begin with. It ties in that deep to the story. Now, Black Ops 3, on the other hand, only ties in because of its freaking title, minus, I guess a passing mention of Menendez's existence, but that's pretty much it. Most people consider 3 installments of a story that you can watch consecutively, telling a story from beginning to end, a trilogy. And most people would agree that a connected story in 3 installments from beginning to end takes precedence over whatever the titles of said installments are. I'll give a simple example. The Men in Black series. Everyone sees Men in Black 1, 2, and 3 as a trilogy, but not just because of its title, but because of the overarching context and characters. Then you have Men in Black International, which is in itself a spin-off, simply taking place in the same world, but with different characters and no real major overlapping story arcs. But what if we renamed the first Men in Black Space Alien Hunters, the second and third movie, Men in Black 1 and 2, and Men in Black International, Men in Black 3? Would you change your mind and make the case that these movies now represent the Men in Black trilogy? No, you would still view the most congruent and connected films as far as characters and story goes as the trilogy of the series, isolating this film as the spin-off that it is. Again, regardless if the names were different. But there was plenty of comments under this Twitter post where people made it very clear their logic was purely based in the numeric title alone rather than the actual story itself. Like this person who says it's Black Ops 1 to Black Ops 3, but then states what blurs the line for people is that World at War actually has some connection to Black Ops 1 and 2, where Black Ops 3 isn't really connected at all to the story of the first 3 installments. Exactly. It's almost like if you base a trilogy purely off of a numeric set of titles rather than basing it off of the story itself, instead of ending up with 3 congruent installments that tell a cohesive story from beginning to end, you end up with 2 installments and a spin-off, which if sat down to watch all 3 in a row, most people would not consider to function as a trilogy.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
It's also fair to note that Black Ops 3 technically tried to retcon a few aspects of Black Ops 1 and 2, meaning that it's not a compatible or paralleled set of events in the slightest, and considering that the current timeline of Call of Duty introduced Black Ops Cold War, which is a direct sequel to Black Ops 1, it's pretty apparent that Black Ops 1 and 2 story was prioritized over the either-or conundrum with Black Ops 3, rejecting it into its own retcon. Just another reason why Black Ops 3's campaign installment absolutely does not count, and I'm not even getting into the fact that it was so god-awful it should be forgotten anyways. Now that is, in particularly, my opinion, and you guys are allowed to have your own opinion. I'm just going to assume you're objectively wrong. But, in all fairness, I do want to hear the argument about prioritizing numeric titles over the actual stories held within the titles themselves when deciding what counts as a trilogy. Leave your best argument or logic in the comments. Now, for those whose definition of trilogy allows such liberties as to add a later installment that fits between two previous installments to then count as a trilogy, we have the dilemma of Black Ops Cold War. Technically, if we are getting into the beginning of Treyarch trilogies, or Black Ops trilogies for that matter, we would have World at War, Black Ops 1, and Black Ops Cold War, or we would have Black Ops, Black Ops Cold War, and Black Ops 2. Now, some argue that Cold War essentially retcons Black Ops 2, meaning that Black Ops 2 isn't canon anymore. The events of Black Ops 2 are going to be soft rebooted in the coming 2 years with a story that takes place in 2035. And to those folks who include Cold War in the list, it's World at War, Black Ops 1, and Cold War. But that is if you want to include this new era of Call of Duty at all, which many people do not when looking back at older Call of Duties. See, if you only want to include the original era of COD, by all means, it is World at War, Black Ops, and Black Ops 2. We also have to consider the fact that Black Ops 2 was originally intended to be the end of the Black Ops story, which was one of the reasons it was given so many alternate endings, with each ending tying up its own loose ends, and why Black Ops 3 was disconnected and had to essentially attempt to start its own story. You could say Black Ops 2 left the door wide open to follow a storyline with Mason's son, but that's the story arc they never took. Now, I get it, the majority of people who played later installments of Call of Duty were not around to play World at War, but if you are mature enough to admit that your bias is most likely based on the absence of that experience, then I implore you, please go download World at War and play its campaign. It's a co-op campaign, and an awesome co-op campaign. Unlike Black Ops 3, which is the only other Call of Duty co-op campaign, and boy did they waste a co-op campaign on a shitty campaign. But again, if you are speaking on this matter, having not actually played through the games we're talking about, including World at War or Black Ops 1, please go play World at War into Black Ops 1. Go back and play their campaigns, and then go play Black Ops 2's campaign. And then go play the first few missions of Black Ops 3's campaign, and then come back and tell us all which of those games is a continuous story from beginning to end, and which one is truly the odd man out that has no reason to be considered amongst the rest. Also, if you guys would like to talk and speculate about the future of the Black Ops story, or you guys maybe know some things that I don't because I've been a little out of the loop here lately, please leave that down in the comments. I love these types of conversations. Will Black Ops 2 be retconned given the fact that we are in the year 2025 and it looks nothing like the world in Black Ops 2? Or will the 2035 storyline of the next Black Ops game continue off of the events from Black Ops 2, keeping it canon? These are things I'm curious about and I would like to get your guys' input on. So, if you would like to talk more and more about that particular subject, please let me know down in the comments. That's it for this video. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Comment down below. Keep the conversation going, and I will catch you guys next time.